us. And, of course, you can get a hold of us online over there at KJAG.com. And we have got a guest we are going to talk to here in just a few moments. He is asking all sorts of questions. And we don't have time for questions. We have time for an interview. And I don't have time to talk to you about all sorts of things that don't matter. We're going to go to our first guest. John O'Connor will also join us in this broadcast. So we are going to go to the old Skype. Yes, the old Skype-a-rooney. And we are going to call our guest, and we are going to get him in here. He will be live here in just a second with us. And we are going to... And apparently, I don't know if we've got our guest or not. Apparently, we are getting 2 calls from the exact same number. Okay, I'm going to hang up here, and I am going to go to this number. And we are going to see if we've got our guest on this line. Can you hear us? You're live. Or you're not. Okay. Well, we will go back over here then. We will go back over here then. Okay, there. I think we've got our guest now. We have got a great guest joining us today here on our big broadcast. Go ahead and give me a brief introduction on yourself, my friend. Let's talk about your music and everything that you're doing, my man. Let's go. Tell us all about it, man.
All right. Well, I'm really excited to be here, y'all. I really appreciate the shout-out, and I'm excited to tell you about me. I'm Buddy Greenbloom, the Gothic Cowboy. I'm an Arizona-raised cowboy that sings Western music, and I'm excited. I got a new single called The Gothic Cowboy dropping on the 18th, a week from today. So I really appreciate Country Music Hub giving me a shout-out and having me on to tell my story.
So how did you get started doing the music thing, my friend? How did all this get going for you?
Well, I've had a long haul as a musician and vocalist. I started out in church choirs as a kid, and I competed in vocal contests through my adolescence out in Brenham, Texas, when we were living in Houston. And then as we migrated west to Arizona, I just stayed in it, and I played in some punk rock and new wave bands in the 1990s. And then, as you know, things started moving forward in my life. I went backstage and became a technician, an audio engineer. And that kept me kind of in the studio. And about 2003, I decided to cut my first record, which put me back out on stage. So for the past 20 years, I've been just writing originals and arranging some covers into Western music. And one of my fortes, a lot of people have noticed, of the Gothic Cowboy is that I take punk rock and new wave songs and turn them into Western standards.
That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast, coast to coast and border to border on iHeartRadio. Also, AMFM247.com. 50-plus AM/FM stations across the country and around the world. Buddy Greenbloom and the Gothic Cowboys, and he joins us today here on Skype audio. So, tell us a little bit about how we find you online.
Well, you could go to buddygreenbloom.com, and that's got a very nice landing page that serves a bunch of links to you, to our Spotify, to our Instagram, as well as to the iTunes, Apple Music Store, where you can purchase downloads of our singles. And this is the 4th studio single that'll be released on Spotify here next Thursday, the 18th, and we're very excited. It's the first single that I recorded in Nashville. So it's truly an accomplishment and a lot of excitement for us here.
That is awesome. Buddy Greenbloom with us today. Check out buddygreenbloom.com for more information. He joins us here on our big broadcast. So we are going to play some of your music. Tell us a little bit about Tent City. We're going to play that here in just a few moments.
Tent City is a song that I wrote. It's kind of a response. It's a bit of a gringo corrido. If you know anything about norteño music, they write songs about villains and bandits, and they're typically done in a in a waltz in a 3/4 or 6/8 time. And so I followed that Norteño tradition and wrote about a place called Tent City in Arizona that was run by Sheriff Joe Arpaio of international fame. It's the toughest sheriff in America. And the Tent City was quite a cruel and unusual punishment for people who were arrested for simple petty crimes. And so I described both the types of folks that would end up there as well as the conditions that they had to endure until Sheriff Arpaio retired.
Fantastic. Well, we are going to do this. We're going to place you on a brief hold, and we're going to play the track. And here it is on your big broadcast, Tent City.
They got Marty for crank and Tommy for weed. Al robbed a bank and poor Frank couldn't read. Art stole a car and Don got into a fight, but they're all behind barbed wire under stars tonight. They're penned like beasts where nothing's discreet. While we enjoy feasts, they have little to eat. They're away in jail, but what's more is a pity. It's that horrible place they call Tent City. Some deserve to be there, but none of that is spoken. The food is rotten and the elements are hard. If the long day don't kill you, it's a brawl in the yard. The guards clean their guns and they wait for the day that one of them gets desperate and tries to run away. They're away in jail, but what's more is a pity. It's that horrible place they call Tent City. Gets desperate and tries to run away. They're away in jail, but what's more is a pity. It's that horrible place they call Tent City. These chains, they are broken. My debts are repaid, my sins are not spoken. I get on my knee and beg the Lord for some pity. Or if I sin again, I'll end up in Tent City.
That is Tent City. And we have got a great guest with us today. Buddy Greenbloom is going to be back with us here on our big broadcast. So we are going to go back to the old skip Skype. Yes, the Skype-a-rooney. And we have the fantastic Buddy Greenbloom back with us here on our big program. So talk to me about your musical heroes and influences, Buddy.
Well, I grew up listening to a lot of the classic country with my grandma, my Aunt Pat. My Aunt Pat was a drummer in a touring band and played a lot of the Cheyenne Frontier days and a lot of the honky-tonks across America. And so Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Townes Van Zandt as a songwriter, obviously, Guy Clark, Steve Earle. And then, these are all like come to the surface though as of late. When I was younger, my main influences were the Ramones and the Sex Pistols, The Cure, and a lot of the new wave bands. I do a version of People Are People by Depeche Mode that's completely honky-tonk. So it's quite a diverse... I've always loved music. I don't think I've pigeonholed myself into a genre of likes or dislikes. I just found myself best suited to perform country music. And I picked up influences from across the spectrum.
Fantastic, fantastic. We have got Buddy Greenbloom with us today. He joins us live here on our big program. So tell me a little bit about your social media. What kind of reactions have you been getting to social media and everything else?
I wasn't too present until about a year ago on there, and I'm surprised how quickly I'm getting traction. They say it takes time to get followers, and I've just been very fortunate to have a steady stream of new followers, and I've been reciprocating and following people back and just appreciating them appreciating me. You can find me at Buddy Greenbloom. It's very, very easy, just like the website. So it's at BuddyGreenbloom. And basically, people can just hit us up there, follow us, see when we're playing in their neck of the woods. Please reach out, send me a personal message. That way I can, send you any stickers or swag we might be having at that time. And just always happy to reach out and talk to new people.
Fantastic. Buddy Greenbloom. He joins us today here via the magic of Skype audio here on our big broadcast, and you can get more information on our official website at JiggyJaguar.com. Live video when it works over there at JiggyJaguar.com, and from the KJAG radio studios in Hutchinson, Kansas. We are live as live can get, 2 Central, 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard, and of course 24/7 at JiggyJaguar.com on the TuneIn apps, and of course you can on-demand archived audio available via iHeartRadio. So Buddy Greenbloom joins us here on our big program. So the next track we are going to hear is Whiskey and Tears. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, Whiskey and Tears is another bit of an autobiographical, but the real crux, the word I was looking for is crux. The real intent of the song is to explain that you're better off working on the road than drinking your life away, and the loneliness is what often leads you to the whiskey and tears side of it. So if you listen carefully to the lyrics, you'll see that there's a lot of redemption in being able to make your way home and find that light on when you get there.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to do this. We're going to place you on a brief hold. When we come back, we will have more with Buddy Greenbloom. He joins us here on our big broadcast. His latest Whiskey and Tears. It is right now. It is a musical showcase. And it is part of your world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast.
Big mouth, big hair, the arrogant mask of I don't care. Long nose, sharp tongue, the Persian eyes of yesterday's sun. I'm just paying my rent, I'm driving the road, I'm grinding the gears, I'm a hauling the load. I've been getting along, surviving for years, drowning my troubles in whiskey and tears. Oh, 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 oh. drowning my troubles in whiskey and tears. Well, I'm out on the road, I'm making a buck, no one to hold, I'm down on my luck. I'm finding the time to sit down and write, to tell you I'm great, just leave on the line. Paying my rent, I'm driving the road, I'm grinding the gears, I'm a hauling the load. I've been getting along, surviving for years, drowning my troubles in whiskey and tears. I've been paying my rent, driving the road, grinding the gears, I'm hauling the load. I've been getting along, surviving for years, drowning my troubles in whiskey and tears.
That is Buddy Greenbloom, and he joins us this week here on our big broadcast, coast to coast. Put it up on iHeartRadio. And, of course, you can find us each and every day over there at JIGGYJGUAR.com. We go back to Buddy Greenbloom. He joins us here on our big program. You can get more information over there at buddygreenbloom.com. So talk to me a little bit about what your writing process is like for your music.
Sure. Man, this is a lot of fun sharing this with everybody. Yeah, the process is it's quite convoluted. I don't follow a formula by any means. I'm not a formulaic writer. Sometimes it starts out simply with just like a hook line, like a catchy phrase, and then I'll jot that down and build verses around it, and then write some music to it. Other times, I might have a melody in my head, and I got the rhythm of the lyrics down, but I just don't have the right words to put to that tempo. So it's kind of an organic process, either from the musical side or from the lyrical side, but completely organic. I try not to follow a formula. I want it to flow out in a very natural artistic process of inspiration and then craftsmanship.
Fantastic. It is Buddy Greenbloom. He's with us today here on our big broadcast. Go over and check out his official website, buddygreenbloom.com. So talk to me a little bit about where you see yourself this year. Are you going to be doing any touring? What are some of your plans there, buddy?
Well, right now we're booking up the remainder of the year. We've got an extensive. We're very fortunate. There's a venue out here in California called Trip Santa Monica, and they've extended us a residency through the end of the summer. So every third Thursday of the month. The next one will be May 18th, and that coincides with the record release. But every third Thursday of the month through the summer, I'll be hosting several bands each week. We had Matt Axton, the son of Hoyt Axton. I think it was last month he played. Yep, it was on the 420 show. Matt Axton played with us. And then we've had Taylor Hungerford from Tar and Flowers, who's getting quite a bit of traction out here in Hollywood as well. And, it's a great lineup full of great bands. And then we always tend to play a set ourselves, so you get to see my act. And then aside from that, we've been playing a lot of the county fairs. We just got back from the Santa Barbara Fair, and we did the Ventura County Fair, and we plan on going back up to Ventura for that here at the late summer. But if you go to the website, buddygreenbloom.com, you'll see a complete list of all of our dates in the Southwest. and we're adding them daily as we get, word from the bookers and the agents on where we're playing next.
Fantastic. We have got a great guest with us today, Buddy Greenbloom, with us. He joins us live here on our big program. So we have got another great track here coming up. Tell me a little bit about Better Off.
Better Off was the first studio single that I released coming out of the gates, and that was it took me about, I hadn't released anything for 20 years, and it took me a bit of courage to get into the studio and put myself out there as a recording artist again. I've been playing in bars and having a lot of fun doing the covers, but this is something that I wrote myself. And it was really personal because it was a catharsis from the coronavirus pandemic when we were all locked down. And I was thinking about the times that we were better off. There was times back when I was a kid, we could drink in our cars. Not that they were safer times. They certainly were reckless, and we may be better off now for some regulation. But nonetheless, there are times we remember where we could drink in our cars and smoke in bars, roll on the lawn, sleep overnight in the campground without getting a ticket, all sorts of little things I hit upon in the song. But ultimately, the redemption in the hook is you're better off than dead. You're better off here playing than away in jail. You're better off living than a will to fail. Better off. I remember those times. So, that's pretty much the song in a nutshell. And, I really appreciate you sharing that with the world. Again, it took a lot of courage to release that coming out of the pandemic, and it certainly kicked me into gear, and it's kept me motivated.
We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live. Buddy Greenbloom is with us here on our big program. So we are going to place Buddy on another brief hold. We are going to play this track. It is tremendous, and we are going to go to it right now here on our big broadcast, coast to coast. Border to border, here we are. Better Off.
Well, I remember when we could smoke in bars. I remember when we could drink in our cars. I remember a time we painted the town red. I remember those times, better off than dead. Better off here playing than away in jail. Better off straight living than a will to fail. Better off. I remember those times. I remember those times at the campground at dawn. I remember the times we rolled on the lawn. I remember the times we spent with nothing said. I remember those times, better off than dead. Better off here playing than away in jail. Better off straight living than a will to fail. Better off. I remember those times. Play in the street and not get a fine. I remember those days we just laid in bed. I remember those days, better off than dead. Better off here playing that
slipped out of sight. I searched and I searched, but it just wasn't right. I remember your smile like a ghost in my head. I remember your touch, better off than dead. Better off here playing than away in jail. Better off straight living than a will to fail. Better off, I remember those times. Better off here playing than away in jail. Better off straight living than a will to fail. Better off, I remember those times. Better off, I remember those times. Better off, I remember those times.
Well, that is Buddy Greenbloom. He's with us today here on our big broadcast, and we are going to wrap things up here with Buddy Greenbloom. We have got Buddy Greenbloom back with us live. And so, Buddy, as we wrap up here with you, my friend, tell us a little bit about how we find you online, where to buy your music, all that.
Well, wow, we got quite a bit of offerings out there. You can find us through the iTunes store, of course, and the Amazon Music's got our music up there as well. You can go, we've got a little Etsy shop where we have physical vinyl and T-shirts. It's like our little merch shop, and you can find that link through the website. And I've got everything, including our 2003 vinyl record, which is a 10-song tribute to the Jesus and Mary chain done in a country western format. Excellent little record to pick up. We've got about 35 copies left out of our 100-copy pressing, and get your copy while you can, because once they're gone, I'm not pressing another set. But you can get CDs, vinyl, and, of course, the MP3s all through our website. And feel free to reach out to me, leave a message, and I'll be happy to get back to you.
Fantastic. Well, Buddy, have yourself a wonderful day. We will talk to you soon. We got to move on to our next guest, but thank you, sir.
That sounds great. We're going to be in Kansas, and when we're out there in Lawrence, I'm going to try to come do an in-studio with you.
That would be fantastic. I would love for you to drive the 3 hours to come see me, my friend.
That sounds like a plan. You enjoy your day as well. You have yourself a wonderful one.
Thank you, brother. There he goes. And I will interview him if he drives 3 hours to see us. We are going to take a brief time out. When we come back, we will have our next guest. John O'Connor is going to join us here on the old big broadcast coming up here in just a few.
Has your heater or